Because my father abused me and all that stuff he did to me, do you think that's the reason I just end up turning to drugs and drinking? Very good. Some people said no. Very good. It's not why. That's not why. Is it true that there's some people that live through horrific abuse stories worse than ours, worse than mine, and they don't become drug addicts, but they actually become successes? They use that, they make up an interpretation for what's happening to them to a whole different meaning. Well, here's what happened, and when this happened, I made it mean something, and then I turned to drugs and said, screw school, screw everything, I don't care no more. My father wasn't being abusive. He was being actually quite nice. He was just having a few beers. That's when he's kind of calm. If he's not drinking, he don't talk to you. But when he just starts drinking, just maybe one or two, he's kind of good. Like he's actually peaceful. It's safe emotionally. He's not going to go nuts yet, right? And my father says something to me, and I never forgot those words. He said, son, when I was your age, I had life by the two. In other words, I had dreams, plans. I was going to go somewhere too, because he knew I was going to go to university. I was going to be a total success. It was clear, despite him. He said, when I was your age, son, I had planned on going to university. Then I was going to get a degree. Then I was going to open up my own business. Then I was going to get married. And then I was going to have kids. That was my plan. That's my dream. And then he did what all alcoholics and addicts do. And I'm talking about myself. We have to blame someone else for why our life doesn't work. And he said, on the day you were born, son, that was the day my dreams died. See, the sad thing is, in a way, is that I kind of wish he said it while he was yelling. Then you could just say he was angry, but he really meant it. This was his truth. The reason why he didn't have his degree, and he didn't have this, and he didn't have that, and he got the wrong marriage, he got the wrong woman, and he wasn't supposed to have me. And he wasn't trying to tell me that, by the way, because he was mad at me. He was just, I think, looking back, I think he was trying to say sorry for abusing you 5 nights out of 7. I think he was trying to say, I feel bad for what I'm doing, but I'm probably going to do it again, so I can't quite say sorry. Does that make sense? Doesn't it kind of suck when people say sorry to you and then they go and do that same thing to you again? In a way, my dad had honor. But the tragedy is when my dad said those words, on the day you were born, son, that was the day my dreams died, that's just what happened. That's what happened. The problem is what I made it mean. I decided in that moment, my mother don't like me, my mother doesn't love me, my dad doesn't love me, but worse than my dad not loving me, I'm evil. I'm bad. Like, why was I born? I was born to destroy my father's life? I'm evil, I'm bad, I'm stupid, I'm a loser. I'm the worst thing imaginable. Who do I love most on the planet? Who do I look up to and respect to the most, even though he drinks? Love doesn't care about that stuff. This is my dad. I love my dad. I want to be like my dad. He's a land surveyor. I'll be a land surveyor. I'll do anything to have my dad love me. But then I realized, or not realized, I made it up. Is it true that my dad didn't love me? How could it be? All these years when the gun was put to the head, you either take your son now or I'm taking him to an orphanage. Here's my dad, clearly doesn't know how to raise kids, but put to that kind of test, he says, have him come and live with me then. I won't have him live in an orphanage. So the tragedy is not in what my dad did or said, because how many people have parents that say stuff that isn't really that nice? Yeah. And the other ones that didn't raise your hands, you probably do too, right? On occasion. So something happened on the day you were born, son. That was the day my dreams died. The tragedy, I now believe that I was a loser, I was stupid, and there was no way I could possibly succeed at having my father love me.